location coming soon to Huntsville. So that means the remodeling time at the Aurelia and Bracebridge stores. They are changing the displays. Now is the time to make a great deal on an Ontario-made hydro-cooled hot tub. In stock models, floor models, or custom orders, everything has a sale price. Pool Spa Sauna Showroom, making waves in Aurelia, Bracebridge, and soon to be in Huntsville. You can also check them out on the web at poolspasaunashowroom.com.
I'm here to throw some light on conserving energy. First, let's coordinate. These are seasonal LED lights. They use 98% less electricity than traditional lights.
You crawled back into bed with the girls and they weren't responding and you fell asleep. And then Tuesday came and passed. And then Wednesday came. And then you woke up.
And when I woke up, I went to get a bottle. I assumed, she was ready for feeding. Went and got a bottle, and her hand was beside me, and it was freezing cold. And I thought that the blankets weren't keeping her warm enough because I have a fan running. So I pulled up the covers,
But
and she was still
you knew
cold.
when you went to bed on Monday night that they weren't breathing and they weren't moving.
They were sleeping.
Elaine, they weren't sleeping. You said you noticed their lips were a different
Yes.
color, and you went to bed and they weren't. You said they weren't moving and they weren't responsive when you went to bed on Monday.
That's
on Monday
the same,
night.
same night. Yes, the same night.
Well, when you woke up, you called the police.
Yes.
That's Wednesday morning.
Then I had to be asleep, I don't know how long, but when I went to bed, they were just cold. I threw over the covers, not even thinking. And I honestly
And you were
didn't
hoping that you were gonna
they
pass
would
along.
sleep.
You were hoping you weren't gonna wake up
Mhm.
when you laid down.
Or I figured they would roll over, they would do something.
And then do what?
They would have woken up.
And then what? If you didn't wake up?
I don't know. I honestly don't.
If those pills would have worked and you went to sleep and you didn't wake up, what were your girls going to do? What were they going to do
I don't know.
with you lying in bed?
I don't know.
Why don't you know that?
Because I don't know and I can't answer any more questions without an attorney.
Okay. Was it because you knew that they weren't going to wake up?
No, when I went and checked on them, I thought they were asleep. They didn't have the purpleness then. It was when I crawled into bed and stuff, and they weren't moving and her hand was cold. That's when I started really taking a good look at them.
And this
And I
was...
couldn't understand why there was this purple mark on Sophia's face, and then I went and looked at Sirena, and she had purple faces on her face.
And was this when you went to bed?
This was when I went to pick up the bottle to give her a bottle, and she wouldn't take the bottle, and she always rolls to come to me for a bottle.
Right.
في الشهور السابقة وجدت إلين نفسها تعاني من انهيار صحتها العقلية بعد المعاناة لعدة سنين من اعتداءات جسدية ونفسية على يد زوجها كامبيون، والذي كانت تقاتله في المحكمة لأجل الحصول على حضانة ابنتيها سيرينا وصوفيا.
I'm a little confused because I thought it was when you went to bed. You said when you went to bed on Monday night.
Yes, this is all Monday night. I don't know where Tuesday happened because you're saying today is Wednesday and I'm going by Monday. I don't know where Tuesday went.
Okay. And you called police. You did not call police on Monday. You called police on Wednesday morning.
Which I assumed was Monday night, Monday morning. I didn't know, Monday. Tuesday, I have no recollection of where Tuesday went.
When you went to sleep that night.
Yes.
And your two children were beside you.
Yes.
Did you think they were alive?
I just thought they were sleeping.
Did you think?
Suddenly.
Okay.
I thought they were sleeping and they were cold. They get cold very easily if the blankets are not on them and the fan is blowing on them. I threw the blankets over top of them because Sirena kicks blankets off her, not thinking twice about it. It wasn't until Sophia's hand was rubbing against me and it felt like ice and I was wondering, you know, why she's so cold. And I went to get her a bottle, and I heated the bottle and went to give her a bottle, and she wouldn't take the bottle, and that's when I started noticing the lips.
Sorry, was this before you went to sleep?
I was already half asleep in bed, got out of bed, went to get the bottle, came back into the bed.
Okay.
It was all dark, everything was dark, so I assumed it was Monday night.
But you were thinking that you weren't going to wake up. This is what's confusing me. You thought that you weren't going to wake up. You wanted to die. You wanted to get rid of the fear.
I want to speak to
And
my
be
legal
safe.
advocate, please.
I just want to go through one more thing with you. That night, you were videotaping. The video camera will show a date.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what date do you think the video camera is going to show us?
Monday. Should be Monday.
Okay. And you're videotaping Sophia in the bathtub?
Singing Twinkle, trying to get her to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star to my mother, and I was singing along with her.
Right. And Sirena was
then
out?
Out in the living room coloring and doing her sign language, I love you.
Right. And after the girls had their bath, you put them into their bed?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Somewhere in there, your children died because they did not wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you if you gave them any pills.
No, I did not give my children pills.
And I asked you if you suffocated them.
I did not suffocate them.
And
I cannot answer any more questions until I have a legal advocate.
I asked them if you drowned them. And you didn't give me a response. And I'm sorry, Elaine, but as a mom, and just as a human being, I'm trying to understand what you must have went through when your girls were in the bathtub. And you held them down under the water.
I can't leave till my legal advocate is here. I cannot speak anything else. I'm sorry.
I'm recording this because Leo and I are very happy. Everything is gone. You wouldn't give peace. You wouldn't tell the truth. I begged. You even had Stacy not believing me, telling her I had to sign papers when I didn't. I went to victim witness to get the truth, trying, begging everyone the truth. How you beat me for 3 years behind closed doors, beat me when I was pregnant with Sirena and Sophia. You didn't care about our babies, you didn't care about me, you cared about yourself. All you did was hurt us. And you get Sirena an idea that you could actually have my children. God believes me. And God's taking care of them now. They're protected by God, thank God. And thank Him. Because there's no way I could have them with you. You're a hideous monster. The things you used to do to me. I still have horrific nightmares all the time because of you. You're an evil, horrible man. I begged the courts to let me go home where I could be protected by my family. I went through lawyers fighting. This last lawyer, even with all the papers I showed, telling her, look, you know, he's lying. There's nothing wrong with me mentally. There isn't. I'm scared of you. I'm scared of everything, of your family. Everything you've told me over the years is the truth. And I'm just going to God, because God is the only one who cares and can protect me. Because you are the devil, Leo. You are the psychotic devil. And I should have stayed away from you the first time you beat me when I first met you, when I was, 21, 22. I should have ran away from you far then. At least the girls and I will be together in heaven, protected and safe from you. You can't hurt us, you can't torture us, you can't bother me anymore. You can't sit there and control me. You have me locked into a county where I have no friends, no family. You got it so I couldn't even go see my own parents.
So do you understand everything that's happened here today? I mean, you understand that?
Yes, I'm being charged.
Yeah, and you understand it's 2 counts of first-degree murder for both your children. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you know, this. I went back and I talked about, you know, the autopsy there, and that's going to be conducted probably tomorrow.
Just as long as they can have an open casket where their faces aren't chopped up or anything, please.
Well, one of the things they have to go through and determine whether in fact this was a drowning death. And there's...
They don't cut up their faces?
No, they don't. But there may be other tests that they have to ensure. The only other reason that they might have to look at the face, that there might be other marks, is whether there was anything to do with strangulation or anything like that. Is there anything to do with that, strangulation?
I didn't choke my children.
You didn't choke your children? Okay. And I know you talked about when they're taking the baths, and there's no doubt in my mind. I know that you're responsible for their deaths. But one of the things is, you know, you mentioned about how your child was in the bath, and I believe it was Sirena. Sophia went first, and you talked about how she panicked. Well, the reason that she's panicking is you're holding her down under the water.
It wasn't. It shows right in the videotape. She was trying to show she could float backwards, and then this ear got in the water, and she's scared of water getting in her ear. And it shows me grabbing her with my hand and pulling her up, telling her it's okay, and then I shut off the video camera and took her out of the water because she's learning to float.
Isn't it true after you shut off the video that you pushed her down under the water?
I cannot.
Isn't that what it's going to show, that water's in her lungs? And isn't that the same thing it's going to show in the other child, in Sirena? There's going to be water in the lungs because you pushed those children underneath the water? Isn't that what happened? You pushed them under the water. They couldn't breathe. They're looking up at you. They're saying, "Please help me, Mommy." And all you can see is their eyes open. And they're looking and saying, "What are you doing, Mommy?" They can't breathe. And all you see is air bubbles. And you hold them down long enough that they cannot breathe. And they're thinking, "What are you doing, Mommy? Mommy, we love you." And now, you know, hopefully they're in a better place, but they're without their mom. But that vision that goes through your head, looking at your children, having pushed them down under the water, where they take in water and they can't breathe. Isn't that what happened? Because all the pressure's on your shoulders, everything else, you thought they'd be in a better place if you were dead yourself, and now your children and all 3 of you can be united together in heaven. Isn't that what happened?
I'm not allowed to speak without a legal advocate.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to tell me?
I just want to make sure that they know the bruises were there beforehand. I have witnesses that can prove that those bruises on their heads were
You're not responsible for the bruises, the drowning you are?
I cannot speak until I have a legal advocate, but I will speak upon those bruises because they are witnesses, adult witnesses, who can verify those bruises were there beforehand.
But you won't talk about the drowning?
No, not without a legal advocate.